So the thing about fabricating is, it's called fabricating because you continue to do things and you continue to make it fit. So you see, I am putting this piece of 3/8 plate in here on this frame, and it's going pretty good. I just kind of got to get a good fit and a good tack, and it'll be good to go. I haven't even started on making this piece yet, but it's coming right along. You kind of see where it's going to tie into the frame up here, come down, and then I'll be able to put a piece in between these two, and then kind of see how it's going to tie in that piece to the frame right there, and it'll be good. I can weld it all the way across here, weld it all the way down, and this piece will all be one. So it'll be nice and strong. I have nothing to worry about. Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Caleb Morrison. This is Caleb's Diesel and Fabrication. If you like fabricating stuff, if you like working on diesel vehicles, this is a great place to be because we're going to do it all. Well, I would say this is the way less glamorous part of the build, is making brackets and braces for the frame, but it is needed. So you see this one, my 4-link bar is going to fit in there. I got it. This piece that we cut took a while, trimmed up and welded in the frame up there. Got it welded in underneath here, and then still got this side to do yet. But you see, I got it welded on the inside. Got it welded. Got that piece welded on the inside. So I decided to use the stick welder. I've got a Lincoln SA200 I like to use for structural welding, not only on frames and different projects, but I like to use it on joints to where I know I'm going to get full penetration, really good weld. So this is one of those instances where I'm using 3/8 plate so it can handle the heat. I know my SA200 over there can handle welding with 7018, which is by far my favorite welding rod. So it's going to burn it in really good. And this bracket and brace for the 4-link bars is not going to move. So we're doing really good. I still got to cut this template out of cardboard. I like to use cardboard and a pair of scissors, mainly because I can take this piece of cardboard, I cut it up, and even if I mess up a little bit, I can just throw it away and get a new piece and start over. So I'm going to do that here in just a second and just start cutting the cardboard out. I'm going to get my scissors, but I'm going to cut that out. And hopefully I can make this other side and get it cut out tonight. Not always the easiest to do whenever you're doing a custom frame like this, which this part's not really glamorous and not super fun, but it definitely is needed for these braces. So a little hot underneath here since I've been welding. Alright, this is where I'm at. I got the brackets all welded in, pretty much. See, it's integrated pretty good. They're straight, welded in. Got this side in, they're both matching. It's going to be a lot of bracket room where I can put a cross member across there if I want to. Looks pretty decent. I'm happy with it. I think it'll be nice and strong. Burned it in with some 7018 low hydrogen, so ought to be all right. It's been a good day. It's hard to believe that 2 brackets take almost 4 hours, but there's a lot of... Hey, new day in the shop. It's Sunday. No one's here. It's great. Well, Craig's here, but he's doing a little bit of work on some other stuff. Anyways, so yesterday, seeing I got the brackets on the 4-link for the bottom links. Worked on it till almost 7. It's kind of getting dark early here, about 5 o'clock with the time change, but I think it turned out good. You can kind of see that brackets in there. Right there where the link bar is going to go. I got the other piece. I got them welded in pretty good. I'm happy with it. So today I'm going to finish up underneath. I'm going to tie these brackets in where they're basically a tube completely made up into a tube. So you look underneath it, you see where this is wide open. I think I'm going to take a plate and fill this all the way up both sides. I might do some welding, just some braces inside of there to kind of help it, but it's coming together. This side I gotta do a little bit more welding, but I use a stick welder and burn it in pretty hot, so I'm happy with it so far. Then I can go on to putting on the top brackets for the 4-link setup, and then also Craig got my piece cut for boxing in this frame, so that'll be good, extra strength, and here we are. All right, we're back. Got it all welded in. Got my pieces all welded up. She's looking good. Got it welded in. Just need to do some cleanup with the wire wheel. See this piece all welded in. Got another pass. You can kind of see what I'm trying to do here. Those brackets right there are going to hold my link bars. Bolt goes through, goes out here to the axle, holds that. Now I can get one of these water bottle. So these will go up here and they will angle in towards the back of the truss, and that'll be that. So not a big deal. We're coming along. So got a lot of welding done, still pretty hot. Got this all tied in. You can kind of see in there, I got it all tied in. I got a piece welded in there. It's going to be really stout. I bet I've already went through about 6 pounds, 7 pounds of rod. 7018, of course. Now, I'm working on, we cut these frame pieces out so I can box this frame in so it'll match. So I'm going to take the wire wheel and then some of these sanding discs, and I'm going to go over the inside of the frame where I'm going to weld it on each side, and that way it's just easier to weld. That SA200 welder, it'll burn in 7018, 6010, whatever you want to burn in, and it burns really good and hot. But clean weld's a lot easier, and it's just easier overall on welding, and not as much junk and smoke going everywhere. Not good to be breathing that stuff anyways. So here we go. I'm going to get this set up here and start cleaning this frame up. Here we go. All right, we're making some huge improvements, doing some real good. I was able to get my tires on, see what it's going to look like at ride height. It's going really good. I ended up putting my hood on, my front clip, like I told you guys, to see, make sure everything will fit right. And it's fitting great. I'm really liking the way it's set up. So, getting ready to take the hood back off, take my shocks off so I can finish weld everything, get it all done. Take the front foot back off. I got everything setting exactly where I want to set it. Now I just need to burn it in, make me a bracket to go underneath here. And this thing will be pretty close. And then I can go ahead and put my bar across the top of the engine. It ties the two shock towers in and go get these shocks filled with nitrogen. We'll be on our way. So I put the tires on, but I ain't showing you guys what it looks like yet. It looks awesome. So here we go. Good morning, another day in the shop. So today we're working on M813 A1. This is a 5-ton military truck. So in the past, this is kind of what I started on back when I first started building these trucks out in the dirt. Didn't have a shop or anything like that. We're making fire trucks, making brush trucks. So these trucks are real simple. They have Rockwell axles on them. They're called 5 tons because that's their rated cargo capacity. When you're going over rough terrain, it's made to haul 5 tons. It'll haul a lot more than that, but you guys will see it's really heavily overbuilt. The 813 is a NHC 250 Cummins, which is a naturally aspirated diesel engine. It's a Cummins inline 6. It's 855 cubic inch. It's really, really simple. It also has a 5-speed manual transmission. Super simple as well. I love them because they're easy to work on, and the military actually designed this truck to where you can work on it when you're 18 years old and you can read a manual and you can take it apart and you put it back together. There's one electronic on it, which is the fuel solenoid shutoff to kill the engine and turn it on. You can disable that with the battle screw and you can make this truck run as long as it has fuel. It's a beautiful thing. It's great. And so today we're working on mounting 2 600-gallon tanks, formerly fuel tanks, and I'll show you guys that. We're going to be mounting those to the bed, and then we're also going to be mounting this Honda forestry pump. Puts out around 200 gallons a minute, 150 gallons a minute, somewhere in that range, about 150 psi. This is going to be a great truck for this ranch that we're building this for. These aluminum tanks are baffled, and so it's great for going off-road. It's pretty, they're mounted low to the ground, and so they're kind of like a potbelly stove, I guess would be the best way to put it. This was formerly a Air Force truck. Doesn't have a ton of miles, but it's pretty nice little old truck. We put a little bit of a paint job on it before I sold it to the ranch. Then they decided they wanted to make a fire truck out of it, so here we are. Got Devin over here on the other side. Oh well, Jacob's over here on the other side, and he's got the big effing hammer ready to do some damage.
Yeah, we're kind of waiting.
And we're cutting this out, and the reason why we're cutting this out of the floor, and we're going to drop this down, and so the gravity point, the low point, will be the pump, so we can get all of the water out of the tanks as much as possible. Devin loves using a grinder and a torch. It's his favorite tool in the whole shop. Is that right? Something's still attached.
Right there.
You got this. Fire the torch up. Hey, it can't be tight if it's liquid. So anyways, we've got a lot going on here. We're going to walk you guys through this and show you what we got. See if you guys like it. All right, hey guys, I'm back on the channel again, working on the rock crawler. I've got a lot going on. This past week we've been busy in the shop. Had multiple trucks in and out. It's been a super good week. Can't complain. I'm thankful for all my customers that I have that keep us going, keep the money coming in and the trucks coming in, and we get them coming out. Anyways, I'm appreciative of that. I hope you guys are enjoying this video series I got working on this rock crawler. I know I'm kind of enjoying the process. It's just amazing. Like when I started this, I didn't know how much I was going to have to learn, and then it's been refreshing to be able to learn new skills and, you know, reasonings for setting up the suspension, reasoning for setting up wheelbase. I've just really felt like that I've gained a lot of knowledge along the way. So I hope I'm able to kind of reciprocate that to you guys as I'm putting this thing together. And I know this is going to make me a better fabricator overall, so I'm excited. Anytime I can make myself better as a fabricator, builder, and mechanic, I'm going to do it. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Today I'm working on finishing up my shock hoops. I got it all in there last weekend, just tacked in there. I didn't get it completely done. I ended up putting the front clip on like you guys saw, and the hood, so I can make sure and mount those shock hoops for the front as high as I could up in there, because I'm going for the maximum amount of travel and up full bump as possible. So it brings my truck low to the ground, which is what I want. I don't want it, you know, 10 feet off the ground. I want it to be able to soak up the rocks as it goes over it. And so that means the wheels are going to come up inside of the fender wells, you know, as far as they can. So I'm mounting it up as far as I can up in the truck, which means I'm moving the shock mounts up. So I got every little space I could out of those up against the hood. So you'll see the shock mounts are way above, about an inch and a half, 2 inches above the brake booster. So it looks pretty good. I got them level. I'm getting ready to build the cross member that goes across. I got my tabs for my shocks welded in. So it's just a lot of welding. One thing I've learned in this process is you got to be patient, and it just takes time to build the brackets. It takes time to get everything set where it needs to be. If I had any advice so far on this kit is take your time, don't get in a hurry. There's going to be things that start to happen that, you know, you really can't change, and so some of the geometry is in there already. I mean, the shock hoops come pre-bent, so that's kind of nice to fit the profile of the frame, which is nice, but you still have to do a little bit of fabricating. Like I had to trim some of it off to get it to fit just right, and then you get to pick the angle in and out of your shocks because they don't know exactly what actually you're using, so they kind of give you a general setup here. So today I'm going to build the little brace that goes across that ties the shock towers together before I really finish weld everything in tight. That bar basically, what it does is it takes the stress whenever the shocks are going up and down, and it keeps the hoop from coming in, and so it ties them together. It's really important to have that. I'm going to put other braces on it, but this one, before I finish weld it, I'm going to put that brace in so it doesn't move. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to work on finish welding some of these braces, and I'll show you guys. I've already got my shocks filled. I'm going to end up putting the tires back on so I can rotate the axle back and forth, go up and down with it. I'm going to do that quite a bit before I 100% get it welded in, and I'm just trying to make this as stout as I can. And you know, the goal is when you're on the trail, you know, and you're driving the truck, you're trying to make sure that things don't break and go wrong. So you try to brace it up and do the best you can, and inevitably you're going to find the weak link in any vehicle, but especially something like this. You're going to find the weak link. The more you use it, the harder you use it, the faster you go, which is me, you're going to find that weak link. So stay with me today. Some of these videos seems like I don't do very much talking, but I'm doing a lot of welding. There's a lot of details that go into this, so I'm trying to get some of that and let you guys soak that up as I go. So I appreciate it. So we'll see what we can do. All right, so one thing I was going to tell you guys I'm not really used to is I always listen to music whether I'm working out, whatever's going on. So with this YouTube thing, it's kind of weird because I feel like you're working in silence. Reminds me of a job I used to have picking up pecans and sticks. Wasn't really my cup of tea, but I did it for a while, and it paid the bills for a little bit. But anyways, I'm having trouble with the no music thing, but I'll have my earbuds in here shortly. I just want to go over some things with you guys. So one thing I really like about my ESOB welder, which I've had Miller welders, I have a Lincoln SA200. I've never had a Lincoln MIG welder, but the thing I like about this ESOB welder, this is a Fabricator 252i, so it's a 220 machine. It runs really good. It really welds nice. A lot of people think that you can, you just pick it up and you start welding. Well, the nice thing about ESOB and a lot of the other big brands is most of the time they have a little cheat sheet on the side of the welder. So if you know what size material you're welding and what you're going to be trying to get out of the machine, you can just go over here and I'll show you guys. You can literally walk over to the side of the machine. This is like basics of the basics. If I can open it. So you basically have a cheat sheet. So if you look here, you got mild steel, which is what you're welding, and then you have your size of your wire, and then if you're using 75-25 for your shielding gas, and then over here 28 gauge, 18 gauge, 1/8 inch, 3/6, it just goes over and it shows you where to put it on. So it can almost make you look like a superstar if you go over there and just look at it and figure out what you're going to weld. You'd be surprised how many people just turn the machine on, and whatever the settings are that if last person that welded with it, that's what they're going to do. I don't recommend that because somebody could have been welding 3/8 plate and now you're trying to weld exhaust and it's going to burn a hole right through it. So I really like this machine. This machine's 3-in-1, so it'll do MIG, it'll do stick welding, and it'll do TIG welding as well. I haven't ordered the TIG welding setup for this. That's one thing I haven't got very much experience on. I need to get some experience on it maybe later on, but for right now, what I like doing on this is using the MIG, but some of the things like the frame plates we put in the frame itself, I use the SA200. Just I know structurally that's going to be a good weld, and it doesn't have as much cleaning when you use 60-10 rod or 70-18. It's just going to burn right through it, and it doesn't matter what's on it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm working on putting this bar in. So what's cool about this bar, and I hope you guys can see this, but it's got a connection with some Allen keys here, and it actually you can take these out, which I'll show you real quick. And it makes it to where this bar that's going to go over the top of my engine and my manifold, it makes it where everything's removable. So if I ever need to take the manifold off, I can take it off. So this piece right here, which I just made, these go up against the shock hoops, and then this piece slides onto there. You weld it right here, and then also you take these out. So there, and then you can literally up or down slide this piece out. So there'll be tubing on this side going to the other shock hoop, so I can take this off and on if I'm working on the truck, and I don't have to worry about the structural integrity of that. You can see, I mean, it's machined, this surface. It's made out of chrome moly. It's heavy duty. Again, this is a piece from Offroad Design. I feel like I always tell you guys that's where I'm buying stuff. Well, that's where I am buying it from. They bring stuff to the house every week. But anyways, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to get these welded in. I'm going to make them look good and get them level. This is the stuff that takes a little bit of time. I went ahead and put my intake on the engine just to show you guys what it's going to look like and for clearance purposes. So here we go. The man, the myth, the legend, Dodge extraordinaire.
I'm just trying to be like you when I grow up.
This is Casey Morrison. I got meat right here for sale. Need a mixing bowl? I need a guy. Look at that. Isn't that slickerly shit?
No, I don't.
No.
Oh yeah, that's all you just did?
Yeah, so basically this ties these two shock hoops in, so whenever you're slamming this baby off the rocks, the shock hoops don't decide to go into the engine. And this piece is cool because you undo this and this bar slides all the way out. So then if you ever have to take the intake off or pull the engine, knock on wood, I don't have to, that you can pull that out of the way and you can work on it. Pretty cool design.
That is.
This ain't your typical Dodge stuff.
You better guess the hell out of this stuff. You'll be hitting that stuff like you're talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought about putting a couple bubblegum welds on it, maybe getting the Votech class out here. Maybe go ahead and
Well,
try
you
to see if
you get Boone out here and get him throw a little
a little
6011.
mud daubing action with the 6011. Yes. As Grandpa would say, look like bullshit on a plug. That's what I like.
Look like what?
He always used to say he'd look at a weld. We'd be out when I used to help him for free, you know.
Yeah.
We'd be out and about, and we'd be like, look at a building, there'd be a guardrail or something. And he's like, man, you see that weld? And of course, I'm like 12, 13 years old. I'm like, no. He's like, looks like bullshit on a club. Don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
Well, if you just see where a bull's crap and then, you know, there's a log or something down there and there's a bunch of bullshit on it, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, needless to say.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh, they don't look good.
good times. Never forget it. He taught me all kinds of cool stuff.
He's got all kinds of sayings.
Yeah,
He still does, as a matter of fact. What are we doing with the old gray here?
she's getting a 4L60E. Needs a new transmission.
Randy or Annie? Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Devin's becoming a 4L60 man.
He's the man.
He's the really picking stuff and that.
He's doing good though. He's learning.
That's the new shop truck.
Yeah, that's the new shop truck who's getting a new engine
Oh.
next week at some point.
Oh, did you talk to whatchamacallit?
Yeah, Brian said, we can get you a new engine for $18.95. I said, okay. I called Nick. I said, hey, can you price this engine? He's like, my cost is $16.22. He said, looks like we're going to knock it down to $16.99 for you. I said, all right, cool.
$15.99.
No, you can't put it under his price.
Oh, it's got to be above.
It's got to be a little bit, but he did scratch my back a little bit. You know what I mean?
The welder been working on his weld?
That's my guy. That's my guy.
So one time.
Oh yeah.
Pop shit on the reverse. Yeah.
That's a little easier than.
Well, I'll have.
That's a little easier knowing that it's gonna be
Yeah.
the bomb.
How much welding are you gonna do? Miles of it. All right, so I got this bar welded up for the cage for the front, and it's looking pretty good. I can go ahead and put it in there. I got this welded up too. Got that all welded. You can see it got good and hot. So that's good. I'm about ready to start making some brackets for these so I can go there. I also got my bracket here that holds the tube up. And the reason I had to do that, I couldn't put it on the frame right here, is because the steering shaft is so close. So I had to move it out a little bit. So you'll notice if you look across here, this one's a little bit more angled out in the back versus this one, because it couldn't set on the frame because of the steering shaft. So that's why that's where we're at on this. So luckily I got a Offroad Design steering kit that actually hooks up to this, and then it has a little joint that goes up here and hooks up to my power steering box. Okay, so speaking of power steering box, so I had to end up moving it about 2 inches, 2.25 inches forwards. And the reason for that is because the drag link was going to touch my panhard bar, because I moved the axle forwards about 1.5 inches. So it's going to work out good. But you got in these projects, what ends up happening and what I'm learning is you move something from its original position, what's going to happen is you're going to have to move everything else. So be prepared for that. Anyways, it's going to work out good. You see how much room I got between you know, my drag link and my panhard bar now, which this is my panhard. You look across there, you can see that it's pretty straight, it's looking good, but this has to be able to move back and forth and not touch the panhard bar bracket or panhard bar. So that's why I had to do that. So I ended up getting some more goodies from Offroad Design, showed up yesterday, and I'm going to unbox that here in a minute. But now I can start making some brackets to hold this whole setup in. Still pretty warm, but every time I weld on it, it's getting stronger, getting stouter. It's going good. Got the brackets all welded in. I just need probably gonna end up adding some more brackets here to the shock tabs just to kind of help stabilize them. But I got it welded on the inside and the outside. Kind of ugly looking, but it'll be stout. Trying to think, I'm probably gonna end up cutting some pieces to go like from here to here to help brace this up. I don't want to get too wild because I know I'm going to have to get to my headers and everything else, so I don't want to get crazy. I'm also going to add some brackets from here down on each side to kind of help brace this up as well, so it doesn't move in and out. So anytime you're doing custom stuff, you're going to have to add some bracing to it. It's just name of the game. So here we go.